Hi, my name is Cassie. I am the Financial Affairs Assistant, and today I'm going to go over the payroll section with you. Timekeeping. We keep track of the hours you worked by two different methods. One is a time clock. If you work at Crossroads Village, Formar Nature Preserve, or Huckleberry Railroad, you will be punching in and out through a time clock, and the supervisor of that area will explain and show you how that works. The other form is through a paper timesheet. Your supervisor will give you one of those at the beginning of the week to fill out. This is what our timesheets look like. We ask that you print and fill them out legibly so we can read them. At the very top, you will print your last name and then your first name. We ask that you please put your legal given name at the top for your first name. For example, if your name is Michael and you go by Mike, we ask that you put Michael at the very top of that. The next section, you'll just fill in the pay period dates, the day that pay period begins, and then the day it ends. The next portion, you'll circle which department that you work in. And then on the far right hand side, you'll fill in the days of the week, the hours that you work. So you'll put your begin shift, what time you went out for lunch, what time you came back from lunch, and when your shift ended. And then you'll go all the way over to the far right column and put how many hours that you worked that day. At the end of that week, you'll put a total in, and then you'll fill out the following week the exact same way with a total there. Just make sure on the left-hand side that you sign that at the end of the week and turn that into your supervisor. This is the back side of the timesheet. If you will be working in maintenance, you are required to fill out the back side of the timesheet. This lets us know how many hours are spent at each park throughout the year. So to fill this out, you would just take your day one that you're working and indicate how many hours you spent at each park. At the end of the day, you'll put your total hours worked on the very bottom row. Then at the end of the week, you will add your columns all the way across to the very last column on the right-hand side and input your totals in there. If you have any questions about how to fill out the back side of your timesheet, speak with your supervisor and they will assist you. Paylocity is a new system that the county is using for all hiring paperwork and for payroll. You should have created a username and a password which gave you access to Paylocity. Keep that username and password somewhere safe, because that is going to be the same username and password that you will use in the future to access any payroll forms that you may be looking for. If you need access to Paylocity, there's two ways to access it. You can access it through the web at paylocity.com, or you can download the app onto your smartphone. You'll just use the company ID, which is 93262, enter the username and the password that you have already created, and then you will have access to the system. With having the new Paylocity, you are now able to view and print your own check stubs. You would be able to view and print your W-2s. You can also change your direct deposit, change your withholdings, or change your address. However, if you do not have access to Paylocity, you can still come into the administration office and fill out the paper forms to change your direct deposit, your withholdings, or change your address. Just as a reminder, if you do move throughout the season, please make sure that you get to us right away and change your address. We don't want your W-2s at the end of the year to be mailed to some other location, so it is very important that you keep your address up to date with us here at the office as well. Direct deposit. The reasons you should have direct deposit is the checks are automatically deposited into your bank account. The funds are available by 9 a.m. on the payday, and you don't have to worry about having your check lost or destroyed. The mail has not been the best lately, and checks have been lost or delayed in receiving them. So direct deposit is always a very good option. Additional reasons for having direct deposit. A lost paper check. Whether it be lost in the mail or if it's a check that you lost, the replacement time is anywhere between 5 to 10 business days, depending on the circumstance. You also have to deal with the time that it takes for the mail to deliver your check to you. Checks leave our office on a Friday. You may not receive that check until Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week. We also have limited times that you're able to pick up your check at the administration office. That is between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Depending on whether you're working or not, you may be working during that time frame and not being able to pick up your check. You also could potentially have check cashing fees, whether those fees are from the store where you're cashing it at or if they are bank fees. You also have to deal with the operating hours of the bank. You may be able to pick up your check between 11 and 1:30 in the afternoon, but you may not get out of work until later in the afternoon, therefore having you to cash your check on the following day. These are just a few additional reasons why we would encourage you to get direct deposit if at all possible. Personal time off. The Human Resource Department downtown determines who gets personal time. The time is calculated based on the hours you worked in a prior calendar year. If you have personal time, that will be indicated on your check stub, the hours earned and available for you to use. If you have earned personal time off and you would like to use it, you will need to submit a time off slip. And then you'll need to turn that into your supervisor, and your supervisor will have to give approval for that time off. Also, time off cannot be used the week of or before a holiday, nor at the end of the season. We ask that you use time wisely throughout the entire season. Also keep in mind that just because you submitted a request does not guarantee that the time off will be approved. Other concerns or questions that you may have. Can I direct deposit to a bank card? Yes, you can now deposit to a bank card. However, the bank card does have to be attached to a bank routing number and a bank account. What if I close my bank account? We ask that if you're planning to cancel your bank account, that you cancel your direct deposit first. The reason being, if you cancel your bank account, the check that you're going to be receiving is still going to try to be deposited into that bank account. And since the account is closed, it will not be able to go through. That check will be lost in cyberspace. We will not be able to track that check down, or neither will the bank. It takes 5 to 10 business days for that money to be returned back to the county. Then we would have to get you a paper check issued. What do you do if your check is wrong? If your check is wrong, we ask that you check with your supervisor first just to verify the hours worked and that the hours were within the pay period for which that check covers. If your check is still wrong, your supervisor will get in touch with the finance department and we will get that corrected for you as soon as possible. What if I change my address? If you change your address, you can do that all online through Paylocity, but we still request that you come to the office and fill out a change of address form. The reason for that is the parks will still be mailing out return to work paperwork and evaluations, and we just need to make sure that we have the correct address on file here in our office as well. Can my parent or spouse pick up my check? No, unfortunately, we do not allow parents, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, or significant others to pick up your check. You will be the only person that will be allowed to pick up your check. How long should I keep my check stub? You can keep your check stub as long as you would like. That is completely up to you. However, please keep in mind that the finance department is not able to print out a check stub. If you need a check stub printed, you will have to log into your Paylocity account and print your own check stubs. We do not have the ability to print them out any longer. When to contact human resource. If you need employment verifications or if you have any unemployment questions, you definitely need to contact Human Resource. Their number is 810-257-3034, or you can also email them at hr@co.genesee.mi.us. They will be able to answer those questions for you and give you any type of assistance that you may need filling out forms. Here at the administration office, we are not able to verify any employment paperwork or answer any unemployment questions. When do I get paid? This is a copy of the pay period schedule. I'm going to explain to you how to read it. If you work anytime between April the 3rd and April the 16th, you will not receive your first paycheck until April the 30th. We are paid on a bi-weekly schedule, so it does take almost a month before you're able to get your first paycheck. The checks that you receive, if you choose not to do direct deposit, will be available to pick up at the administration office between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. If you do not make it to the administration office between those time frames, your check will be mailed out to you. If you have any questions in regards to this section, please speak with your supervisor first. If they are not able to assist you, you can definitely stop in the administration office and speak to someone in the finance office. We would be glad to assist you.